So South of Midnight has finally released, and as usual, it came out with a lot of controversy. Now, at first, when I heard this game even had controversy, I was thinking it was like like Asmongold complaining that the female lead isn't hot enough or something. But it's actually just concerning the gameplay, which really surprised me. Because really, when is controversy like this ever about whether or not the game is actually good? But I'm fine with it because it's at least an argument that you can actually have some logic in. Now, the main thing I've been hearing with that is that the combat gets boring and repetitive. And while I'm not too far into the game, I've unlocked all the major abilities, and I've been told that you don't unlock any major power ups after that. Now, with that, I certainly don't think the combat is boring, but it is repetitive. And I can't imagine it'll get boring after doing it for 30, 40 hours, or however long the game is. Now, you're hearing that and you're probably thinking, oh, if that's the only thing, why is it such a big controversy? The rest of the game is great. The environment, the dialogue, the character design, everything else is an easy 10 out of 10. But the only thing is that the combat gets a little repetitive. Now, a big thing I've been seeing with that recently is people will come to defend games that people say are boring and repetitive by saying, is the game boring and repetitive, or are you boring and repetitive? And to that, I would like to argue that I feel like it's the game's job to incentivize you to be diverse, or at least not make the boring and repetitive play style like the most meta way to play the game. Now, I say this with points. I want to bring up games that were fun, but then the meta shifted into a really boring and repetitive play style. Think games like Rainbow Six Siege back whenever everybody was running Warden 1.5. Think Apex Legends with its long range meta, or think Overwatch with Widowmaker. Just sit in the back, click on heads. Now I know I said all multiplayer games when talking about a single player game. That's just to get my point across because everybody's heard of these games, so you can just immediately know what I'm talking about. Now I tie this back in the South of Midnight by saying if you are going to make the game harder, the more creative you get for having to wait on cooldowns, think about things, stuff like that, whenever you could just mash X and dodge at the last second every time, and you'll clear the fight twice as fast, you have to make people want to get creative. And I'll bring up Devil May Cry as an example. Its style system. Yeah, if you just spam the same moves, you're just being sitting there just spamming X, pressing the same moves. That style's gonna say like a C or a D. You're gonna get like a B rank for the mission. That's gonna suck. But if you're actually branching out, using different moves, using cool combos, first of all, you look cool, you feel cool, but you are actually getting incentivized to play all aspects of the character.